Our episode today commences with Alicia relaxing at her residence. When Jill comes in, she observes that he's developed and blossomed a bit, to the extent where she scarcely recognized him. Flustered, he acknowledges that it's been a considerable period and grapples to locate the appropriate phrases to express to her. She delicately rests a hand on his shoulder and proposes they proceed to Luana village. He concurs, and they embark. As they traverse the woods, Hale inquires of Alicia if she's certain she doesn't desire to visit her dwelling first, as everyone there is anxious to see her and verify she's well. So Alicia stresses the importance of going to the village with utmost haste. Hale consoles her that the village is presently secure and accessible at this juncture of the day, but he's intrigued by her hastiness. She clarifies that she's ultimately discovered what she required and hasn't frequented the village in ages. When they reach their destination, Alicia is astounded by the metamorphosis. She ponders audibly if this is truly Luana, remarking on how all the inhabitants, guided by Rebecca, are toiling diligently, but the ambiance has utterly shifted compared to her previous sojourn. They are shortly welcomed by Nate, the village's private sentinel, who presents himself, stating Rebecca informed him about her and how she was vital to the village's advancement. He notes that he hasn't observed the demise of a youngster from starvation this year due to her endeavors, and conveys his appreciation. Nevertheless, Nate concedes he doesn't completely believe her, to which Alicia replies that his dubiousness is expected and that unquestioning faith would be illogical. Nate then confronts her, inquiring about her unexpected emergence after years of quiet. He cautions her against exploiting Rebecca or the villagers as some sort of aristocrat's pastime. Hale interferes, elucidating Alicia's rationale for not visiting sooner. Alicia then defies Nate to a blade contest, proposing it as a method to achieve reciprocal comprehension. Nate wavers, rejecting the notion of combating someone as delicate-looking as Alicia, but she incites him further, implying he lacks conviction. Enraged, he accepts, admonishing her not to fault him if she sustains injuries. During the match, Alicia vanquishes Nate decisively, abandoning him on the earth. Rebecca shows up to discover Alicia aiming her sword at Nate. Alicia explains that she needed to demonstrate her worth to acquire Nate's credence. The villagers, startled by Nate's loss, presume Alicia utilized sorcery to triumph. However, Nate hushes them, admitting his defeat and acknowledging her aptitude. He affirms that she didn't employ magic and attributes her victory to her prowess. Alicia then divulges the mystery of her victory. Her nurturing as a noble granted her with boundless provisions, superior instruction, and the occasion to acquire knowledge from her proficient siblings. She informs Nate that if he possessed the identical prospects, the result might have been different. When he questions her aims, she recommends he utilize her abilities to the village's benefit, demonstrating to him that she is earnest about her benevolence. Subsequently, Alicia and Hale encounter Grandpa Will. Alicia greets him warmly, observing it's been a protracted interval since they last connected. She discloses that she's attained level 91 in shadowy magic and journeyed to see him for this specific purpose. She then performs an incantation, encasing them in a radiant aura. It proves to be a restorative enchantment that transmits a portion of her physique to another individual. Will is astonished to discover he can perceive again, as Alicia has bestowed upon him one of her eyes. He's enraged, inquiring if she comprehends what she's performed. Alicia serenely explains that she knew he would never request someone to give him an eye, but she desired him to be capable of sight once more. Hale joins them, reuniting with Will after numerous years. Will, now capable of observing the villagers' countenances, expresses his thankfulness to Alicia, recognizing her arduous efforts in conquering the archaic dialect essential for the spell. As Alicia and Hale depart, Hale inquires if her eye is all right. Alicia admits it feels peculiar but isn't painful, marveling at the marvels of magic. Hale then inquires if everyone was apprehensive when they discovered she forfeited an eye, particularly her father, who had been excessively uneasy lately. Alicia concurs, chuckling that her father has a propensity to overreact. The setting transfers to Alicia and her father. Upon hearing what transpired, he collapses instantly, though when he recovers awareness, he asks if it was a mishap during practice. Alicia clarifies that she gave her eye away voluntarily. Stunned, he collapses once more. When he revives, he reprimands her, stating he never envisioned she'd return home lacking an eye. Alicia calmly replies that she isn't the compliant, decorous, noble offspring he pictured and intends to live life as she deems appropriate. Her father concedes that he'll never cease fretting about her, regardless of how much it irritates her, and congratulates her on exceeding the 90th magic tier. He guarantees her that he'll uphold his pledge to support her and continue observing Liz Cather for her benefit. The scene then alters to Gil, who provides Alicia with something to conceal her eye and informs her that he fashioned it himself. She expresses her gratitude and remarks, "Now that I possess this eye patch, I'll conceive of a suitable ensemble for it." She then mentions that she will return to the academy after a 2-year hiatus, and there will be a gathering to observe her reappearance. At the academy, everyone is astonished by Alicia's advent. In her novel attire, she greets them, and it appears everyone is captivated by her allure. She comments, "The antagonistic comeback merits a proper exhibition as well." Shortly thereafter, another young woman emerges and addresses Alicia. "I speculated you wouldn't revisit the school." Gil inquires about her identity, but she doesn't respond. Instead, she tells him, "You would be wiser to depart this academy promptly." Alicia intercedes, stating that she will formally return to the academy commencing the following week, and that she came today as a sign of deference. She adds, "You must be one of Liz's ardent devotees." The girl responds, "I'm awed by how thoroughly you comprehend us." Alicia then recollects and notes, "Naturally, it's logical that she's one of Liz's subordinates, considering the animosity she's displaying." The girl then states, "It seems you've designated Liz as your adversary, but I recommend you acknowledge your deficiencies before you humiliate yourself further." Alicia asks her, "What flaws do you perceive in me?" The girl replies, "From a solitary glimpse at that audacious garment you're donning, it's evident you're entirely dissimilar from Liz. Liz Sama doesn't prioritize outward appearances. She values the internal attributes of others with justice and parity. You don't compare to her whatsoever." Alicia responds, "What's within is undeniably more significant than what's external. But in actuality, the majority of individuals assess others based on appearances. Today, you judge me solely by my appearance." The girl becomes disconcerted and says, "I acted thusly because it's apparent your inner self must be tainted as well, and it manifests outwardly." Alicia retorts, "Your hair is unkempt and replete with split ends, and wearing such a brief skirt makes your legs appear plump. Your askew ribbon is also a manifestation of your disordered inner self." The girl replies, "There's no necessity to be concerned with outward appearances. Liz Sama informed me I'm lovely just as I am." Alicia advances closer and inquires, "Then why do you arrange your hair to obscure your eye? Why not present yourself with assurance?" Liz appears when she notices Alicia. She's surprised. The girl, whose name is revealed to be Jean, informs Liz that Alicia was criticizing her appearance. Liz reassures Jean, saying, "You're a lovely girl, Jean. Don't permit such disheartening remarks to trouble you." Liz then turns to Alicia and says, "It's been 2 years since we last interacted. What transpired between you and Jean? It's crucial to heed both perspectives." Alicia concedes that she did critique Jean's appearance. Liz then asks, "Do you recollect what occurred 2 years ago? I restrained you due to my preconceived notions, and you ceased attending the academy. I profoundly lament that and extend my apologies." Alicia responds, "There's no need for compassion. I don't desire that from you. My absence from the academy wasn't due to that occurrence. I possessed my own justifications." Liz informs Alicia that she rescued her from the seclusion she had been experiencing because it was something she had consistently yearned for. It has long been understood that whatever Liz desires is readily attained. Alicia approaches Liz and says, "You're content now because events are unfolding according to your caprices, but don't trust yourself excessively. I'm aware you despise me. When you observed me confront the highwayman 2 years ago, you bound me alone so that the highwayman could eliminate me, even though you could have bound both of us." Liz denies this, asking, "Would you feel joyful if you became wicked and sullied my image in front of everyone, Alicia?" Alicia responds, "On the contrary, if I were a virtuous girl, I would desire you to take this seriously. You merely prattled without taking any tangible measures, but you succeeded in achieving a felicitous conclusion through genuinely opportunistic methods. It's consistently troubled me. I comprehend matters are progressing favorably for you somehow, but have you ever evaluated how much influence and dependability this possesses? Alicia then departs, leaving Liz in astonishment. When Jean inquires about Alicia's actions towards Liz, Alicia answers, "I didn't undertake anything. I simply informed her I don't require her to rescue me. My tenet is to remain faithful to myself, even if I'm detested by everyone." She leaves them both and exits. The scene shifts to Prince Duke, who is in his chambers perusing a book. His protector informs him of peculiar occurrences that he never anticipated, but Duke is indifferent. We return to Alicia and Gil, where Teacher John surprises Alicia by commending her scholastic aptitude, stating she could be positioned in advanced courses and would excel. Gil is also lauded for his level, and it's difficult to believe that Gil is still merely 11 years old. Alicia expresses her gratitude for his remarks and mentions that Gil has practiced extensively and invested substantial exertion to attain this level. Afterward, Gil and Alicia depart. Gil inquires, "Is it accurate that commoners have limitations in magic they can't surpass?" Alicia answers, "Commoners can't utilize magic. They are instantaneously dispossessed of any educational or vocational prospects, but not all occupations necessitate magic. If something is aristocratic, it ensures Gaukid instruction, so no one perceives the need to employ non-nobles. We must commence taking action against aristocracy." Abruptly, Duke appears, and Alicia becomes irate, this instructing him not to materialize before her so unexpectedly. He attempts to intimidate her with his magic and asks, "I heard you bestowed one of your eyes upon someone. Is that factual?" When Alicia informs him it's none of his concern and not to meddle, he becomes enraged. He says, "How is it not my affair? Are you aware of how much I've been solicitous of you these past 2 years? I know you've been enacting the part of the villainess simply to amuse yourself since childhood." Alicia tells him to remain distant because she didn't request his solicitude. Duke is astonished by her words and expresses regret before departing. Gil asks Alicia, "What transpired with you? You weren't this way previously." Alicia replies, "This is how I elevate myself to the status of a villainess." Gil comments that this is foolish, adding that it's improper to shatter someone's heart as Alicia did with Duke. Alicia feels somewhat saddened and recollects her pleasant memories with Duke.